She is an author, a teacher, and a wonderful personality. So rather than introducing her, I'll ask her to introduce because that will be an honor for us, and you got to get to know about. So Sakshi, would you please introduce to yourself so people will get to know about yourself?
Sure, yes. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Faizan, for having me as your guest. And I love writing books. I love working with children, and I love teaching, if I can call it that. I think I learn more from children than they learn from me always. So, yes, happy to be a part of this wonderful world of words, and happy to share whatever little bit I've learned over the years.
Wow. So suppose as you have introduced yourself as an author and teacher. So my first question is that if Shakshi, not an author or a teacher, so what? Like, then what? What would you would be?
It's a, I think, I don't know if it's an easy question or a tough question. I'd probably be like a postman or something, or something to do with writing and delivering letters because I absolutely love writing letters. I write letters very often. So maybe I'd be writing letters for somebody in an office or be a postwoman delivering. I don't
Oh,
know.
so as your profile says that, and you have introduced yourself as a teacher. So what do you teach, like generally? Because author, as an author, you are writing, you have written 4, 5 books, but as a teacher, what do you teach?
Yeah, that's an interesting question that you ask. Well, in my sessions, I hope to encourage children to, to allow them as much creative expression as possible, give them confidence to express themselves. That's the objective of my sessions. And through that writing, I hope that they can ease off a little bit of their feelings or anything that they are feeling inside. So I work not only with younger children, but also with teenagers and adults up to the age of 80. And writing has immensely helped me as a teenager to ease a lot of emotion that I was feeling. Different people go through different stresses at different stages of their life. And I think writing is a beautiful therapeutic grounding tool. Not only it enhances your language, but also helps you just relax and calm. So each writing session that I begin, even with a 6-year-old, the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes, we are doing something called a free writing class. I mean, free writing session where we just write freely without holding back what's in our heart. So I hope I can encourage creative expression and help them release their emotional overload that they experience. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now you're such a wonderful answer. So it has generated curiosity in me. So tell me something about this writing for therapy, because I was going through your website and it was there that writing for theory. So how it can help the students? My first question. And second is that how it can help to the people during the quarantine. Can you just give some idea about?
Surely. So, as the word goes, therapy means something that relaxes you, something that calms you. All of us may have a morning ritual or a night ritual that helps us slow down and calm and get perspective. It could be yoga, exercise, some sort of hobby. But a lot of those things are not really possible at this time. Not everything may be possible. Outdoors is not possible. So, how can you just get a bit of perspective in life, get a bit of calm, just reflect over the things that are happening in your life? A lot of us are feeling a lot of uncertainty at this moment, anxiety. How do you deal with that? So, when you take a
Okay.
little diary and you just pen down your feelings, you can do that and find perspective. You can set goals. You can process difficult emotions that you're feeling. That's how it can be quite helpful at this time.
Okay, okay, okay. And it's a quarantine series interview. So my the second question, because it's related, all are correlated. So online classes or offline? What would you choose?
You know, I have taught offline for very long time, and online has been a past couple of years maybe. But I thought online would be easier. The only thing that's easier is that I don't commute, but online teaching can be equally taxing. I have realized you're not able to see the child's book, for example, or have that personal, you're with the child and that personal touch. But there's not a big difference. Um, I think it's just about getting used to it. I think children are adapting so well. So I think it's a matter of time that everything's just going to move there.
Oh, oh. So you will be thinking that okay, my all questions are related with the quarantine. So now I move to your writing part.
No,
So
no problem.
till now you have written 5 books till
Yeah.
now. Which one is your favorite one and why?
Well, it's like picking one of your children. It's not easy, but I'm going to have to pick my first two books, Rat-a-tat and Jalebi Jingles. Reason
Okay.
being that both those books were unplanned. I wasn't planning to write those books. I was just writing my feelings and poems. The feelings were coming out in form of poems, and I was also going through a challenging period in my life at that time. And I think these two books remind me that whenever you're going through a crisis, something beautiful can come out of it. So I think Rat-a-tat and Jalebi Jingles, definitely.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Jalebi Jingles I have read, and sorry, other books I have not read, but definitely I'll plan to read. But Jalebi
Yes.
Jingle is one of my favorite, and I would like to thank you. You gifted one book for my daughter. I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you
I'd
for
love
that.
a review from her.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Unbiased, of
Definitely.
course.
Sure. Definitely. So, like, as you are talking about your writing, so how do you balance making demands on the reader? Because generally you are writing for the children. So, like, what do you take care while for the reader, like, while writing?
um, I don't know if one can plan that. Like, I think every author may have their own process, but I think I just go with my intuition a lot of the time.
Oh,
And I try to share my work anonymously with some children that I work with to get an unbiased response. I may tell them, hey, what do you think of this? And somebody else has written it. And I try to get feedback, and that helps me. So, having access to children right now, I mean, having access to children because I'm a teacher helps me get perspective. But I'm not always planning because I don't think one can do that while you write. It's kind of very organic. Um,
okay.
yeah.
So let's move from writing to reading now. So I want to cover all 3 parts:
Yeah.
quarantine,
Yeah.
writing, and reading. So as a childhood, what is your favorite childhood book?
So as a child, I think my favorite book was, I mean, what comes always to me was Alice in Wonderland, Rapunzel, Champak. I used to read all these books. My parents really brought all the books from different parts of the world to me, and which I'm very fortunate and grateful for. That fed my imagination when I was, young. And whenever I was ill or I was not going to school, I remember I was just put in one corner with lots of books, and they were my friends, and I still have beautiful memories of that. So yeah.
So viewers, I will ask you to visit her website, that is shakshisong.com, because she has written wonderful stories. Can you share one or two stories on which you have written on your this website? That something you removed this while performing or something? Uh,
Oh
on
yes, okay, yes. I mean, I was a very mischievous child, and I was a little overconfident sometimes, and
yeah.
I had to play Mickey Mouse once as on fancy dress, and my mother worked really hard to make a mask for me, and she borrowed a tail, and I don't know what not, and then I don't know, and I had to go on the stage and say Hickory Dickory Dock, and instead of that, I lifted my mask and went like Hickory Dickory Dock in my normal voice to disappoint
Okay.
everybody, especially my mom. And that's it. There was no fancy dressing for Sakshi anymore after that.
Okay. So the thing is that next question is related that only. So, like, if you had to do something differently as a child or teenager to become a better writer as an adult, what would you do? Because everyone wants to become a writer, or they are aspired. With any message for the young viewers if they are there?
Um, I don't know if I would change much because I think the experiences that I went through as a child and a teenager have really enriched my life to contribute to my writing. So if I changed that, I don't think I would be a writer. In fact, I never thought I would be an author. I was just basically using writing as a tool a therapeutic tool to process my emotions. So I started writing my diary very early, maybe age of 8, 9, 10. But maybe the only thing I might do is I should have written more diaries as a child and preserved
Okay.
them because I never preserved them, or my mom never had a chance to. So no changes
Yeah.
whatsoever. I'm very grateful for all the experiences.
So I now got to know that you encourage child to write postcard. So what's the story behind it? Can you just tell me?
I'm sorry, I missed that
Postcard.
question.
Yeah. Generally, like in your session, you ask students to write you a postcard. So
Yes.
what's the story behind it? Why you encourage them to write?
Yes, I think this is also related to your previous question, like what would
Yeah.
I change in my life? So I think when I moved from Agra to Mumbai at the age of 6, the only way to communicate with my best friend back there was to write letters to her. And if she and
Okay.
I hadn't written letters to each other for about 10 years back and forth, we wouldn't be friends even today. So I
Okay.
think writing gave me some beautiful things in my life, including some very powerful friendships. And so one of the reasons I feel the excuse I give them is that, hey, how will you be in touch with me after I leave your school? So I
Okay.
ask them to write, but then I think what it does for them is they start to think and formulate and structure their thoughts, and hopefully they start enjoying that when I respond to that letter.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the idea.
Cool enough. Cool. So I feel that in this time when we are surrounded by the technology, it's very much important to write postcards so you can preserve with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's related with that only. Many times people say that the writers in the lockdown there is no change in their routine. So is it true? Because generally they write at home and they, but you are a teacher, but I can understand if you put yourself as a writer. That is it true?
Um, I mean, it would be wrong to say there's no change because I think all of us have either more things to do, like home chores and things like that, cooking experiments, some
Now
disasters, some
nowadays we have
brilliant.
to do also. We have to
So,
now we have to support our family members. There are a lot of
absolutely.
memes out.
Absolutely. So I think it would be strange to say there's no change, but I think there's definitely more quiet time that I think I can't complain about. I always complain about I'm always teaching and I have no time to learn. So thanks to this extra time, I'm learning lots of things online. Like I've signed up for courses and I'm learning and I'm really enjoying that and trying
Okay.
to set a new discipline to write. Uh, so I'm actually loving this time because I'm one of those fortunate ones who's safe indoors, who can say that I can make use of this time.
Okay, okay. So, are you reading? What's your current reading right now? If you can share.
Of course, I'm reading a variety of books. I'm reading this author called Judith Orloff. I'm reading Hyman Sunim. He's a monk who has a very fun ways of sharing how to deal with life's challenges. So I'm doing a lot of light reading at the moment, something that is easy. I am reading lots of poetry book. In fact, I'm reading something called the Jingle book right
Okay.
now
Yeah,
for children. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So a bit of everything.
Okay. So, let's talk about Jalebi Jingles because it's one of my favorite books. So, it's very funny also. Like there is one story about that uncle who makes. So, if I ask you to summarize your Jalebi Jingles in few words, how would you do?
The book?
Yeah, book. If as an author is your child, it's your child. So if I ask you to just summarize or pitch that book, so how would you do?
Well, sweet,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
funny,
it's Indian.
and
Yeah,
silly.
it's Indian. Yeah. So generally, you write for the age group of grade 3 to 7. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Right.
so far, yes.
Okay. Okay. So for younger generation. Do you like write anything or your forte is that from grade to grade 6?
Right. So I think Poetry can be read aloud to children, I think, from the age of two, 2.5, 3. So a lot of the parents that I know who've bought my books are reading the poetry books at least to their kids who are 2.5, 3, and have fortunately enjoyed it. So I am working on a few new projects which are for younger children. So let's see how they turn out.
So how do you feel that children can cope up with the lockdown? Because everyone has their own. There are people who play PUBG. So there are people who play a lot of Ludo. So how do you feel that reading can help to cope up with this lockdown? Like with the people, how it is can help?
So, of course, reading is a very beautiful, immersive experience, and we always complain, oh, no time to read because we have to travel and we are here and we are there. And right now you do have plenty of time, or at least you're not commuting. You have an extra hour. All of us, if we want to enjoy reading, we can take out time. So it can actually really slow down, your thinking. It can just transport you into another world. It can take away your stresses, your fears, it can calm your anxiety. So reading is a must for all of us. And there's no excuse for a person who really wants to read.
Yeah, yeah. So again, my question related with the reading for the young parents, because every time in the school we get a message from the principals, reading habits are decreasing, is decreasing. So any special suggestion for young parents right now for you if you have?
Of course, number one, if they see you reading, they're going to read. So if they see you on the phone, they're going to be on their gadget too. Number two, I think we underestimate the involvement of parents, grandparents, family members in building the reading culture and the writing culture. We just put it on teachers and school, and that's not enough. So I think right now, as a family, we have no excuse but to sit with our child, engage with them, listen to their made up stories or make stories for them, uh, you
Mhm.
know, uh, read aloud to them. They absolutely love it. You can set a time every night. Like my sister does it with my niece. She's not even 1.5 years old, but she's just about 1.5, and she has a bedtime routine where she doesn't sleep without reading a book or at least flipping the pages. So you can
Yeah.
set a routine with them, maybe after lunch or afternoon nap or in the evening. Just spend a few minutes with them, and they'll naturally build it for life. So
Cool, cool. So each and every young parents start read aloud from now onward. It's my suggestion. Even I do read aloud to my daughters, and I try my best to match later. Whatever they want to listen, I'll try my best to make them read. Okay. So, second, my question is that if any one book you want to suggest, it's must read during this lockdown for the like young readers. I would say that 3 or 4 from 3 to 8. So, which book you would suggest?
for the
Of
age of
course,
three,
Jalebi Jingles, but apart from
for the age of 3 to 6, I'd suggest a book that I absolutely love, and it's funny, but adults love children's books more because they're just so hilarious and so beautiful. I love this book. I've been reading to a 3-year-old online. I've been doing the sessions with him, and it's called Harry McLary from Donaldson's Dairy. It's a famous book from New Zealand. Harry
okay,
McLary from Donaldson's Dairy. It's a rhyme. It's got rhyme. It's poetic, and it's about different dogs who leave their house, all different breeds of dogs, and I won't reveal the rest of the story. There's
yeah.
also Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. It's by Doreen Cronin. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So, there is one question related to your writing as a writer. Do you believe in writer's block? Because many times people see, I don't know, because I am not a writer, but they have block. They don't. So, do you believe in this? I won't say that you do have or not, but do you believe in writer's block?
Yes, I do, and I think it's another word for excuses and laziness.
Okay,
So whenever
okay.
I'm saying I have a writer's block, that just means I haven't sat down on my computer and been sincere enough to write. So I think it's all in your hands. If you want to do it, you will sit there. Even if that particular day nothing comes, you can still, you've at least made an attempt. So, like I've heard Jerry Pinto say that imagine your cook coming home and saying, "Hey, I have a cook's block. I can't make food today." So it's an excuse, nothing else.
Yeah, it happens with us also. Like today, like I don't want to go office, so I'll have some thoughts, which called mental thoughts.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think we are done with for today. At last, if you want to give any message to our viewers, because this is a very tough time for all of us. We have been sitting at home, and even country is going with the tough time. So, if any message you would like to give our viewers, please feel free to.
Well, thank you for asking me, but I guess all of us are trying to survive through this time. It's not easy for anybody. Some days are going to be easier, some days are going to be tougher, some days you're going to fight more at home, some days you're going to fight more with yourself. Find tools with books and with journaling to help express your emotions that could help. Find ways to learn something new online, so you're using your creative mind, you're putting your mind to good use instead of consuming lots of media that might cause more anxiety. But the two things that have always helped me is to read a good book and to write your feelings down. I can say that from experience, and I'm sure we'll all overcome this. In um, yeah.
Thank you very much, Sakshi, for to be part of this wonderful conversation. It's an honor to host you, and we look forward to have many wonderful books from you in near future. So thanks a lot. Guys, you can visit our website sakshishong.com, SKSHISONG, and you can definitely buy books through Amazon. Wonderful books are there. So feel free to buy for your like children. Amazing. I have started with scholars also on sakshishong.com. So just visit and buy books. Wonderful books are there. Thank you very much, Sakshi.
Thank you, Faizan. Thank you for having me. All the best. Take care.
It's an honor. It's a
Bye.
privilege.
Pleasure. Pleasure's mine. Thank you.